Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez thought she could overpower Senator John Kennedy with rapid-fire interruptions and sharp rhetorical jabs. She cut him off 6 times in a row, her voice growing more forceful and pointed with each attempt to derail his responses. The Senate hearing room felt silent tension crackling like electricity before a storm. But what Senator Kennedy said on his 7th response didn't just silence AOC, it dismantled her argument and left her speechless in a moment that stunned the room. The exchange that followed would set social media ablaze, racking up millions of views and proving that the most powerful way to counter aggression isn't matching it, but wielding precision wisdom and unshakable calm. Let's dive into the story that has the nation talking. The Senate hearing room was a cauldron of anticipation, its mahogany-paneled walls absorbing the weight of a pivotal debate on healthcare reform. Rows of chairs held senators, their staffers, and policy experts, each face etched with focus or apprehension. Reporters crammed the press gallery, their laptops glowing as they prepared to capture every word, while cameras swiveled silently, their lenses glinting under the harsh fluorescent lights. Spectators lined the back, some wearing pins advocating for universal health care, others sporting caps with slogans championing free market solutions. The faint hum of air conditioning did nothing to ease the palpable heat of expectation. Behind Senator John Kennedy, his team of advisors sat like sentinels, briefcases stacked with meticulous precision, brimming with data on healthcare costs, insurance statistics, and legislative history. They'd spent weeks preparing him, confident in his ability to navigate any storm with his signature blend of folksy charm and razor-sharp intellect. Kennedy, the seasoned Republican from Louisiana, adjusted his glasses and scanned the room. His calm demeanor a stark contrast to the charged atmosphere. Across the table, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the Democratic firebrand from New York, flipped through her notes with quiet intensity, her pen poised like a weapon. Her eyes, sharp and unyielding, locked onto Kennedy, signaling she was ready for battle. AOC's team had spent countless hours dissecting his past testimonies, studying his knack for disarming opponents with wit and pivots to local anecdotes. They'd armed her with an arsenal of data studies on hospital closures, uninsured rates, and skyrocketing drug prices designed to cut through Kennedy's polished exterior. AOC wasn't here just to ask questions. She was here to make a statement, to hold the powerful accountable, and amplify the voices of millions struggling under a fractured healthcare system. She'd faced tough opponents before, from corporate lobbyists to skeptical voters, and thrived in high-pressure environments. But she hadn't anticipated the depth of Kennedy's strategic calm, nor how he'd turn her own aggressive tactics into an opportunity to shine. The stakes of this hearing were monumental, touching the lives of millions caught in the crossfire of rising healthcare costs, coverage gaps, and policy gridlock. Kennedy stood for a market-driven approach, emphasizing patient choice and fiscal responsibility, rooted in a philosophy of individual freedom and pragmatic solutions. AOC, by contrast, championed bold reforms, advocating for policies that prioritized accessibility and equity for the most vulnerable. This wasn't just a policy debate. It was a clash of two visions for America's future, embodied by two figures with starkly different styles. Kennedy's odd, slow Southern drawl and measured cadence exuded the confidence of a seasoned debater who'd seen it all, while AOC's rapid-fire delivery and unapologetic passion represented a new wave of activism demanding change now. The room felt it, the cameras captured it, and the nation watching online sensed it. This was a showdown that would echo far beyond these walls. Kennedy's team had prepared him with military precision, studying AOC's viral moments and her ability to turn complex issues into sound bites that resonated with younger voters. Their strategy was clear: let her push, let her talk, but never let her land a decisive blow. Kennedy's strength lay in his ability to stay unruffled, to answer with clarity and a touch of humor that disarmed even the most aggressive questioners. His advisors had drilled him on the numbers: hospital costs up 15% in 5 years, 28 million Americans, uninsured prescription drug prices climbing faster than inflation. They'd also armed him with stories from Louisiana small-town doctors drowning in red tape, families struggling to afford care under bloated government programs. Kennedy wasn't just defending a policy. He was championing a way of life, one that valued local solutions over federal mandates. AOC's preparation was no less rigorous. Her team had pored over Kennedy's voting record, his public statements, and his appearances on news shows, identifying his go-to moves, the folksy metaphors, the pivot to local concerns, the way he could make even the driest policy point sound like a story told over a porch swing. They'd gathered their own data: 45,000 annual deaths linked to lack of insurance, 130 rural hospital closures since 2010, insulin costs soaring 20% in 3 years to challenge his stance head-on. AOC's goal was to expose the gaps in his logic, to show that market-driven healthcare left millions behind. She'd faced skeptics before, from town halls to cable news, and wasn't about to be outmaneuvered. Her questions were crafted to be precise, to force Kennedy to confront the human cost of his policies without hiding behind charm or deflection. The committee chairman banged the gavel, calling the session to order. The room fell silent, save for the soft click of keyboards and the occasional rustle of papers. Cameras swiveled to focus on Kennedy and AOC, their faces projected on screens across the country. Kennedy straightened his tie, his expression calm but alert, like a chess grandmaster awaiting his opponent's opening move. AOC leaned forward, her eyes locked on him, her posture radiating determination. The chairman recognized her for her 15-minute questioning period, and she launched in with a pointed question about prescription drug affordability under current policies. Her voice cut through the silence, clear and forceful, demanding answers. But before she could finish, Kennedy raised a hand, his voice steady but firm. "Congresswoman, you're framing this in a way that misses the bigger picture. The issue isn't just prices, it's about innovation and choice. Let's talk about how government overreach stifles competition." The interruption caught AOC off guard, but only for a moment. She'd expected Kennedy